Hello everyone, Recabilly here. Welcome back. Today I want to show you this really cool minigame that I created, and I'm going to show you how to build it. Now this isn't the full minigame, but it's basically all of the mechanics, and I want to just show it off to you guys. So we have an on button here. The game is on, and now you can see that both of these beacons turned on. Now this is a team versus team King of the Hill type of game. And what you can do when you actually build this thing is you can have one of these beacons turn on at a time, and it can randomly decide which one. You can have like 10 to 15. I mean, you can have all the different King of the Hill spots that you would want. But let me just kind of show you the basics. So let's say we're red team. We stand on the red pressure plates, and it starts adding up. You see that light turns on, yes. And then after a while, and I'm going to speed this up for you, you keep getting these points lighting up, and that's all great and all, but you're fighting the blue team and they knock you off. Oh, when you're not standing on it, that score is locked. If two teams are standing on it, nothing happens. But then let's say blue team stands on it. Well, it's not going to start counting up on the blue side. No. You stand on blue team and it's actually going to start counting down on the red side. And once it hits 0, you're gonna see it switch over to the blue team side, and now blue team starts adding points. So this is kind of a long game. You're over here fighting the red team, blue team is fighting red team is fighting blue team, and trying to rack up your score, and you're trying to fight back and forth until one team can make it all the way to the end. Let me show you what happens when one team makes it, and I'll just stand on this one to show you that both sides actually do work. Alright, blue team is about to win. Let's see what happens when this light turns on. A little fireworks show happens. Yay, blue team wins, and then now we can come turn off the game, and we're gonna get one more celebratory victory rocket for the winning team, and these lights reset. Okay, that's great and all, but now let's kind of go over how this whole thing works. So I'm going to turn the game on. We're going to get the beacons. The way that works is this lever, all it does is, well, first of all, everything that's on the white wool and white glass is something that has to do with the game itself. All of the team specific redstone is on their team color. So everything that's blue is for blue team, everything that's red is for red team. Pretty simple. So we turn the switch on. The torch turns off, which pulls back this piston. The piston actually extends the block and blocks out the beam. And if we are on blue team, this glass right here, the blue glass, will shift over. Here, let me switch this out for wooden pressure plate. So as you can see, the blue glass is now taking the spot, and the beam turns blue. The binging sound is just when anybody is standing on a pressure plate, this clock turns on and it starts playing this note. It actually doesn't signify exactly how many points you're getting or anything. It's just kind of giving the player feedback that what they're doing is working. You are racking up your points even if you're not seeing the lights turn on as fast as you might have hoped. Oh, blue team has won. Alright, so this is how it works. Basically, we have this system right here. We have a locked hopper facing into an unlocked hopper. And all of the items that would be in here are going to transfer into here. That means the game is reset. There are no points to start with. Now, if somebody's standing on the blue team's pressure plate, all of the items in this hopper are going to move over to this hopper over here, and this will start adding up, which is basically going to just turn on these lights. Now I can just move some of these items to speed this up. Once the score reaches the end, this redstone torch will turn off, which can power your winning signal. Yay, the blue team wins. And then if they step off, you can see the score starts to count down again. And I can build this exact same thing for the red team so you can see how I do it. all you need is the pressure plate for the team, your redstone signal, this can be as long as you need it to go into this block. This block is going to go into a piston and then into a redstone block. And then we can have your hoppers right here, and one of them needs to be locked by default, so this redstone block is facing this hopper. And then we need to put a stack and a half in here, I think. Let me just go like that. I think it's like 30 or 29, but we can just leave it at 64 and 30. Now you just pull your signal out, and this will be your visual score to tell everybody that red team has this many points. Let's just grab this. Did I do 5 over there? Yes, I did. And then the red team winning, the torch turns off. You can have that power your signal or unpower a signal, whatever, and that will go into the team win detection. So then if we stand here, red team starts getting points, and that'll start going up. Okay, that's great and all, but as you can see, if you get off the pressure plate, it starts counting down. What if we don't want that? Well, it's pretty simple. We just need to lock these hoppers. So I'm going to use white wool for that, and I'm just going to put this on top, and you can place these next to it if you want, and like on this side, and then just have your comparator coming out the front. But I brought it this way so you can see it a little bit easier. This signal needs to be on by default, so what we need here from these is an OR gate. So if any one of these, if anybody's standing on a pressure plate, it will turn this signal off. So we'll have this signal go here and make sure that the signal strength is reaching the hoppers. So now basically, if I stand on the red team side, the torch turns off, which unlocks the hoppers, and the items start moving. And we're gonna wait till this gets to 2 points just so you can see. All right, and now if we get off, the signal is on, which locks the hoppers, and the items do not move. So now red team stays with their 2 points. All right, so now we have both sides working as far as gaining points and then locking the points in, but the problem is that if, let's just get a little bit more points on the red team side here. All right, so red team has a full score. We're gonna get off this, and now that is locked. But the problem is now if we stand on blue team's side, they're still gonna be adding up points even though red team doesn't have 0 points. So in the game, I made it so that if red team has 0 points, then and only then can blue team gain any points at all. So that's where this block comes in right here. Instead of this redstone line just going straight into the piston, we added this block here, and this block is going to actually be extended or retracted. I think it's going to be extended. Let's see. Yeah, it's going to be only extended if this team has 0 points. So by default, this will be up here, and then the same thing for this side. We're going to make the piston like this, and we will replace that with our white wool. So now everything is locked. So what I want to do is I want to reset this. So I'm going to turn off that signal, and the points should reset back to 0 on both sides. Very good. And now I can put that redstone dust back so that those hoppers stay locked. All right, so now we want to make it so that if there's one item in here, then blue team cannot add points. So what we're gonna do is we're going to put a new line from the red team side to add some logic to block out the blue team side. So we're going to have a redstone torch right here. This is going to invert the signal, and then we want to bring this up by another 2 blocks, and then the redstone signal will turn on here, and this will come over this way and then all this redstone will connect, like so. So now when red team has 0 points, then and only then can blue team add any points. If red team has any points, even just 1, oh my gosh, I'm too funny. So the reason why that wasn't working is because I added the blue team's side, but I didn't keep this piston down. So I'm just gonna move this down for now. If the red team even has 1 point, this piston will go up. Why is that but? Grr. Okay, this is being powered by a bud switch right here. So for the example, I'm just gonna add a slab here. And we will add one here as well for the blue team side so that this redstone doesn't bud switch it. Okay, so as you can see, all the lights are turned off because red team has no points, blue team has no points. But if red team has points, you can see that blue team can no longer gain any points, not until red team has 0 points. But because these are locked, blue team needs to stand on their pressure plate. This isn't here, but it's unpowering that line, which unlocks the hoppers. Once they're at 0, then blue team can start adding up. It works so perfectly, but now let's add the blue team side. All right, the slab is there, so it's not gonna get bud switched or yeah. All right, blue team has 1 point. Now red team wants to start getting points, so blue team is gonna start losing points, and now red team starts gaining points. It all gets a little bit jumbled up here, but as you can see, everything works. This is about as small as I can make it and show you guys how this whole thing works. Now we're on blue. Red team starts counting down. Once they are at 0, then this will come down and start adding points for us. Perfect. And then so on and so forth. And then we have our wind detection. Perfect. But let's say we want to turn off the game. So pretty simple stuff. We just need a redstone wire that will go into this line right here. So we want to turn off the game. That means we want the points to be reset to 0. Just flick this lever on, or however you want to turn on and off your game. And now you can see that both teams have 0 points, which means both pressure plates are available. Any team can stand on these pressure plates and start gaining points. But because the game is off, as soon as you step off, it's going to reset itself. So you have to make sure, flip the lever, game is now on. All right, and now your points start adding up and they start saving. All right, and you can see everything that we basically talked about here. So the redstone line is turned on. It's going into this block. The only reason why that block is there is because red team has no points. And all of the items are being added up into here. The lights are turning on. Once blue team has enough points, the wind detection sets off. And it doesn't necessarily turn off the clock, the little dinging. That's just gonna stay on. It's basically there just for feedback to tell the player that what you're doing is working. But points are still there. Let's turn off the game and everything gets reset. The only reason why that turns back on is because when I flip the switch, this redstone line turns on, which powers it. By default, because it's on a burnout clock, the redstone line is off. Alright everyone, that's going to be it for this episode. If you want to see more, please leave a like. It lets me know that you enjoy the content and helps the video grow and my channel grow, of course. I'll see you all in the next one. Take care.